Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be going through the AQA Power and Conflict Anthology. So sit back and listen while I dive into it. Now, the first poem of the anthology is Ozymandias. Ozymandias talks about the arrogant attitude of a king who makes a statue of himself during his rulership. He does this because he wanted people to remember him when he dies. However, fast forward to the future, barely anything is left of his statue except for damaged stones. Tragic. The next poem is extract from the Prelude by William Wordsworth. In this poem, William Wordsworth recounts a childhood memory in which he steals a boat to explore nature's beauty. However, he has to interrupt his journey because he encounters obstacles. The next poem is London by William Blake. So the poem narrates a journey around London and the misery faced by its inhabitants, especially the poor. It also denounces the jobs that the poor unwillingly do for survival and criticizes the church for doing absolutely nothing to help them. In Exposure, Owen gives his perspective on his experiences as a soldier in World War I. Let's remember that Wilfred Owen was a soldier, okay, so he experienced the World War firsthand, okay? So he talks about the misery faced by the soldiers and also the agony and pain that they go through in the biting weather as they wait for the enemy who never arrives. Storm on the Island, the poem expresses the power of nature and the helplessness of humans in front of a stormy weather. They've made all the preparations needed to secure a shelter. However, they do know that they will be unable to control the storm because obviously the power of nature is much stronger than the power of man. Okay. Next poem in the Power and Conflict anthology is Kamikaze by Beatrice Garland. Kamikaze talks about a sudden decision made by a soldier to no longer die for his country and the inevitable rejection that he faces when he returns home. Obviously, because at that time, when you die for your country, well, even now, when you die for your country, you are considered a hero. The fact that this soldier decides to come back home is seen as an act of cowardice. The next poem in the Power and Conflict anthology is Bionic Charge. For those of you who do not know, bayonets are long knives that are fixed at the end of a rifle, and obviously the aim of you fixing the knife at the end of the rifle is to kill your enemy. Anyways, Bionic Charge talks about the terrible experience of a soldier in World War I and the psychological transformation that the soldier goes through after he has gone through the process of fixing bayonets to attack an infantry. Then we have the Charge of the Light Brigade, okay? In this poem, Tennyson recounts the Battle of Balaclava and how the lack of communication brought about the downfall of the Light Brigade. It also talks about the fact that the soldiers, despite knowing that they would never win that battle, they carried on fighting till the end. When will their glory fade? Next poem is War Photographer by Carol and Duffy. The poem talks about the challenges that a war photographer faces when capturing the misery that people go through during war times and the sense of helplessness that a war photographer feels as he cannot help his subjects. The only job he has to do is to take pictures. I cannot do that kind of job. The next poem in the Power and Conflict anthology is Poppies. So the poem talks about the relationship between a mother and her son and the feeling of loss that the mother feels about her son leaving for war. She's reluctant to her son's departure. However, she knows that her son is of age, he can make his own decisions, and there is nothing she can do to stop him. The pains that mothers go through. So. Next poem, Rumens by Simon Armitage. The poem talks about the harsh and violent images of war that are haunting a soldier. The soldier has returned back home from war. However, he's unable to go about his daily routine because obviously the images of the people that he has killed during wartime keeps replaying in his mind. Next poem is the Emigree. This is one of those poems that makes me remember my hometown. So the poem talks about a displaced person who is remembering what her country looked like before she left it. She recognizes that a lot has changed for the worse. However, nothing can change the image of a perfect place that she has of it. Next poem in the Power and Conflict anthology is Tissue. I know that some students find this poem very difficult, but it's not. It's not. You need to read it properly. You are reading it incorrectly. Read it properly. Okay? Once you've read it more than 10 times, you will get the gist of it. Okay? Okay? Anyway, the poem explores the importance of paper and its multiple functionality in society. Next poem in the Power and Conflict anthology is Checking Out Me History by John Agard. Now, I know some of you may be wondering, why am I smiling more than usual? Well, because this is my favorite poem, okay? Agard here is just expressing my feelings, okay? In this poem, Agard denounces and criticizes the educational system, and he also expresses his feelings of anger as he has come to realize that the history curriculum that he was taught when he was in school has absolutely nothing to do with his background, okay? I mean, I'm black. You should be teaching me about Nanny the Maroon. Why am I learning about Dick Whittington and his cat? I don't even like animals. Let me calm down. Anyways, next poem. My Last Duchess. AQA, are you for real? I mean, of all the poems in this word, you chose to put My Last Duchess by Robert Browning in the Power and Conflict anthology. Please remember, it's called Power and Conflict, not Power and Confusion, because this poem is the most confusing poem I have ever set my eyes on. Like, are you for real? Are you for real? My Last Duchess. Do you all actually want a summary of this poem? Well. I think the most basic way to summarize this poem is you have a visitor. You do not have any food or drinks to offer them. So, to while away time and confuse them so they don't remember that you didn't offer them anything, you show them the piece of art that you have in your house. This is my last Duchess. She's standing then on the wall. She's looking beautiful as ever. Learn from Robert Browning. Okay, lovely. So I've come to the end of this video. I hope you found it useful. If you learned something new and you are hoping to learn some more, please remember to subscribe to my channel. And as usual, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Thank you.